Good morning, Stitch Along Friday people. It is, let's see, it's November the 22nd already. I can't believe how quickly things have just evolved. And I can't believe also that I'm just not ready for this morning's stream. I have to admit, I slept in this morning, couldn't seem to wake up whatsoever. But that's probably because in the middle of the night I was unable to sleep. So when I finally got back to sleep, I didn't wake up until 8 o'clock, which is completely unheard of. Marty, good morning. I think Lisa's power is out. At least she told me that on my phone. And I'm not sure. Petra is studying and writing a report for her homework for a course she's taking. So it could be that neither one of them is here, but I'm here. I don't have any excuses whatsoever, and I'm so glad that you're here too, Marty. Welcome and good morning to you, or good afternoon, I think, by now for you. So I'm able to see your comment so far, so I'm hoping that I can see more comments pretty soon so that I don't have to refresh the comment section, because apparently as soon as I do that, things start to deteriorate quickly in Facebook. There is Donna. Oh, wonderful. I get to see the comments. Thank you, Donna, for chiming in. I wonder if you and I should talk today. That would be a good idea. If you have the time, maybe right after our stream, I can give you a quick Zoom call. And if you're available for that, or I'll just text you first and then we'll figure out how we can meet if it's not convenient. Anyway, so nice to see you, Donna. Good to have you here as always. Kathy Bird is here, and we have a wintry mix with lots of wind here in North Virginia. I understand that it's wintry already back east. I call it back east. Here we've had a big storm. I don't know I think it's been in the national news at least, if not the international news, about our, I think what they call it, a typhoon bomb, which that terminology has been, completely escaped me over all the years. Apparently the terminology has been around for a while. The weathermen are not fooling us and creating yet more words to describe the things that go on here on the West Coast. But it has been a pretty devastating windstorm, of course, mixed with rain, etc. I think it's also been affecting not just our West Coast here in Canada, but also American West Coast. So I expect that, for instance, Donna will have experienced a few breezes herself down in California. But mainly I think it's been Washington State and BC. And so we are experiencing a huge storm again today. So I'm really glad my power didn't go out yet. Apparently Lisa's power has gone out. So, and I don't know why. Maybe they're fixing something from the last windstorm we had 2-3 days ago. But we're all safe and nothing is wrong. It's not really as dramatic as it sounds for many of the people in the residence, especially where I'm living. I'm completely protected by hedges and trees and all sorts of things. So I don't really notice it, but a whole bunch of people right on the water, when they're at the coast. And I know in my old house, I would have really noticed it. Look at this. That was my weather report. Wintry mix sounds like snow to me, Kathy. Aw. Linda says, cold here in Virginia mountains, 30 degrees. Oh, Fahrenheit. I was going to say, if it's Celsius, that would be warm. Chill of 21 Fahrenheit. Oh, my goodness. That is definitely cool. And I have to tell you, Linda, be very, very careful in that wind chill, because that's, this already. That can really creep up on you. You'll be frozen in no time. Marty says 40 degrees Fahrenheit here in Adirondacks, New York. Yay, me stitching time. Exactly. This is what we're here for, it's kind of nice because stitching is kind of like a big club that's a kind of a sub club. Nobody knows that we're actually all stitching together. Maybe not at quite the same times, but I think very close. Because if we're 3 hours apart, some of us are going to be stitching along with one another. All it would really take is for one channel for everyone to stitch together on Victoria Sampler pieces a week. And I was wondering about that, whether I could maintain it. It would need to be something that would be pretty regular, so that people can depend on that there's going to be a stitching. a stitching hour or two that we can all get together. And I don't know, what do you think of that idea? Just came up with it, by the way, because really we are all stitching together most of the time. I know one of the places that I belong to, they have a stitching day every Sunday. And that's also adorable. But I mean, many of us have plans, especially for the holidays, that we can't join in. But for those of us who don't have a lot of plans, maybe a Sunday afternoon stitching would be kind of nice, or Sunday evening stitching, or Sunday at dinner stitching. Anyway, let me know what you think. Margaret, good morning. Back in Ontario again. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it in BC. Not sure where you were. Probably not in Victoria, or I would have heard from you. Jean Morrison, good morning, everyone. It's much cooler and windy in Atlanta. Aha. Yeah, things are getting a little cooler on the Northern Hemisphere. Hi, Liz. Good to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. As always, I feel like you're just teetering on the edge of not stitching. And I know that every time you come here, you get a little bit more excited about stitching again. So hopefully you are definitely joining in with your group, because I remember you joined a group. So hopefully you're all stitching a little bit every week. I mean, it's hard to keep it up, I know, especially when you have so many conflicting and other wonderful things that you can do, or not so wonderful. Renee, good morning from Northeast Washington, Northeast. So it's rainy there, is it? Did you experience, or are you experiencing the front edge of our cyclone bomb? I assume so. Ellen says, good morning. Hello, everyone. Dry and bright. It's been cold and frosty. Yeah, I don't know where you are, but that sounds like, a typical weather for the East Coast. Hi, Tia and all. Glad your powers are safe. Yes, rainy here in Niagara Falls. Well, these weather things throughout the they affect us all, and we are all a little bit on the trepidatious side when it comes to global warming. I know I am. So I look and see, to see what kind of weather there is on the entire northern continent, because my Richard's in Mexico. So I'm constantly looking out for you all, just so you know. I'm making sure that you're okay. Not that helps. Oh, nice, 100%. Thanks, Liz. Susan says, I love the idea. Oh, good, because it was a few minutes ago that I said that. Hello from Phoenix, sunny and beautiful. That's so nice. Phoenix, Tedra, I've been thinking about living in the States. Would you recommend Phoenix, or is 140 degrees in the summer a little bit much for people to take? I don't know how hot it gets there, but good heavens. Liz says, oh, you finished a few projects. Good. See, that's the thing. Just keep on stitching a little bit here and there so that it's not overwhelming, but that you do get that sense of camaraderie and that wonderful sense of freedom that you get. Oh, I've got a project. I know what I'm doing in the next 20 minutes or half an hour or an hour. And that's what I love about stitching. When I sit down, I know I've got the time to do it, unless I'm interrupted, of course, but I've got the time to do it, and I'm going to take that time now to get that wonderful, meditative, lovely feeling of stitching. And playing with colors is my favorite thing, of course. When you're creating something that's a little bit new, that hasn't been tested out yet, my favorite part is testing all the things that I think up. And say, okay, does this work? I wonder if this works. No, it doesn't work, so I take it all out. That kind of thing. And for me, that's like a joy. I get lost in the ideas and in the choosing of all the silks. And I still have a fair stash, although it's truncated somewhat since I moved. But boy, is it ever fun to get together with other stitchers across the world, knowing that there are others like me who are enjoying exactly the same feeling that I am. Ellen Melvin says, in Central Scotland, UK. I know you are. Is it bad there too, the weather? Kathy says, my EGA guild has a stitch-in twice a month on a Sunday afternoon for 2 hours. There you go. It's like that, only it could be virtual, because not every person belongs to a guild, and not everyone has a guild or a shop near them. And what about us who are away from those things and can't drive to a place like that? I love the idea that your guild has a stitch-in, because you get to sit with other people, right, Kathy? I think that would be lovely. It's almost the same, not quite, almost the same as being in a classroom and we're all working on the same project. If you're working on different projects, you can go around and seeing what other people are doing too. I think it sounds like I should be doing that either on Zoom or on YouTube. If it's YouTube, I don't think other people can then show their work. And I think on Zoom you could. So that might be a really fun thing to do. Oh, let's see. Margaret was in Tsawwassen. Oh, very close. Only a ferry ride away. A stitching week with my stepdaughter. Oh, that is so nice. Managed to take in the big craft show. Yes, there was one in Vancouver and one in Ladner. Yep. Yes, you did. You spelled it correctly. My brother used to live in Tsawwassen, so I know exactly how it's spelled. And yes, it's a difficult name. These Indian names, or sorry, shouldn't call them Indian because they're not. First Nations names are sometimes really difficult to spell, never mind pronounce. Tedros is a nice place to live from October through March. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. And then it's warm from May 1st to part of October. So really, it's the warm part that I want to know about. I know everything else is beautiful, right? I'll have to ask you about that another time privately, Tedra, because we are looking for a place in the States where we can retire, but it has to be inexpensive. And we can only live there part of the time, and so it would be half and half. We're both not enamored of retiring in Mexico, not because it's not nice, but because Mexico itself is unstable with regard to buying things, banking, mortgages, and all that. And I've heard some horror stories from people who have bought and then been stuck with something and there's no recourse. So I kind of like the rule of law a little bit. Kind of do. Anyway, so we're thinking about doing that. Deborah says, we have a stitch-in twice a month with Zoom most of the time. Samora is also a small Thanksgiving celebration and potluck. How can you have a potluck on Zoom? Does that mean everybody brings their own food? They sit and eat it together? Oh, that's hilarious. That's so cute, Deborah. Love it. Well, I wanted to, before we go on about all of the fun things that you guys are talking about, I wanted to just say that I know that it's been really difficult with regard to ordering anything from us that are physical because of a Canada-wide postal strike. We knew it was coming, but they kept telling us that it was going to be a rotating strike, which means that some things would be slow, but they would get delivered. And then when finally the time came, the rotating strike turned into a full-blown strike, and the people are, like the arbitrators, are trying to bring together these workers that are insisting on, the things that they want. I'm sorry, I'm not exactly in favor of this strike because they are wanting, I think it's like a 30% raise or something. It's a really huge percentage raise, and okay, over 4 years, but nevertheless, they're trying to keep pace with inflation, I guess. On the other hand, they're really well paid because it's a crown corporation. So I'm not sure why they're stuck on this, but I think they've been asked to work more days, which includes Sunday. And I think that's what the big deal is. They don't want to work Sundays, whatever. Anyway, and the Crown Corporation is already losing money. So they're fairly far apart. They've given them the option of 12% raise, I believe, over 4 years. So 12% and 30%. I'm not exactly sure of my figures, but I don't think that they're very close yet. So little retailers are really having a tough time, particularly people like us who are online retailers. And we bought these leaflets with the understanding that it was going to be a Christmas a Christmas push for us so that we could have a little extra money in the kitty for next year. But it looks like there is no such thing because you guys are not buying things that you don't know when they're going to be delivered. So I just wanted you to know we're keeping on top of it. As soon as the postal workers get back to work, they're going to have time to start clearing out all the backlog that was in their system when they decided on the strike. And so I do know that you're going to, if you have ordered or if you plan on ordering, feel free to do so because I'm very sure that the mail will get through. It just may not get through for another couple of weeks. I can't see that they can be on strike for longer than another week or two because the government will come in and say, I'm sorry guys, but this is a national thing. There's a whole thousands of passports are in the system, which of course pisses all the people off that are looking for their passports so they can go on a Christmas holiday to see family or whatever. So I think that that's it's going to end sometime. How it's going to end, we never know. But this is something that we have no control over here in Victoria Sampler, and we did put a little notice saying that there was a strike, and your order may be affected. It will be affected for sure, but that doesn't mean your order won't go through. And if we had decided that we were not going to have, like if we had decided, for instance, to use another service than Canada Post, which we could do, the postage rates, instead of being $8, $5, $8, $12 US, they would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $30 US if we use UPS or any of the other courier companies. So I wanted you to know, we just don't think that it's worth for you guys to pay that much shipping for a product that may be about the same price. So we decided that we were going to make sure that you guys were going to be aware of the strike. It will be over, and you'll be able to order all those lovely leaflets that I have sitting right here, the ones we were talking about. We're so excited about. All of these wonderful leaflets will be able to be delivered, and they can be delivered in the new year as well. I mean, just because it's Christmas doesn't necessarily mean that you can only buy Christmas things at Christmas, right? Let's see. Oh, Lisa, you're back here. Good. Your power's just come back on. Excellent. Now I can stop talking about Lisa. Everyone, don't tell her what we talked about. It's a secret. No, we weren't talking about you at all, except, I might have said that you were out of power and Petra was doing other things, but no, we didn't say anything, especially not anything negative. In the long run, wage increases lead to price increases, etc., etc., etc. It is a vicious cycle. And I was listening to, I've forgotten the name of your American Midwest hero. He runs Berkshire Hathaway. Anyway, this guy. I was listening to him this morning, and he said, exactly what you just said, which is that prices are going up. But when inflation goes up, that generally means that all those prices are going to be paid with money that is worth less. So we are being taxed by things like this strike. Good afternoon, Brenda Lichleyer. Good to see you. Lisa. So I just wanted to show you my today's showing, which is, what did I do with my little note that said how wonderful, I probably left it at my other computer. Anyway, no worries. I wanted to show you the gingerbread ornaments. This is the time for gingerbread ornaments. And we used to show this together, Lisa and I miss her, I have to say, especially when I have to hold 4 items at one time. I can't actually dangle them very well at one time, but I can dangle them one at a time. So these are the gingerbread stockings. There's one, and there's another one here. And what I've done on the back, see, this is a little stocking of somebody stitching. What I've done on the back is I put a little, my name, or your name, you can put your name, and a little star. And for some reason, that little star and the kind of lovely lace along the top is all that's needed for the back to make it look adorable also. There's lots of buttons that you can get at your craft store. There's another one here, which looks one more stitch, which is, I think, part of another leaflet, but it's still a little stocking. And I used a heart button for that one. And let's see. Oh, and here's one of the stitchers from, I think this is from a quilting. No, this is from another sampler. I think I've taken this one from a sampler, but I changed all the colors and had some fun with it. And this is one was done for Petra, and it's got a little gingerbread man. So those are gingerbread stockings. I think I got that correct. Mini stockings is what it's called. Gingerbread mini stockings. And then there's the gingerbread cookies, which are adorable too. They're their own little adorable selves. And once I get this all arranged, I can hold these up because there's only 2 of them. These are cookies. And I did these because I know there's gingerbread men, and I wanted to have some gingerbread people. So I had a girl and a boy, not a gingerbread man, but a girl and a boy. And on the back, you can see their little hats actually are the tassel end of the what do you call it, of the hanger. So there, you can see it better that way. So it kind of works out really well because they look like something in the back, and they hang beautifully this way. So You can see the two little guys, and they look great on a Christmas tree. And they are called gingerbread cookies. And did you know that cookie is a Dutch word that was adopted by English-speaking people? And if you're in England, they call cookies biscuits, right? They don't call them cookies. But in America, I think because of New Amsterdam becoming New York, but there were a lot of Dutch-speaking people here at the beginning, they called them cookies. So I thought you'd like that. It's a Dutch name, gingerbread cookies. And there is a gingerbread quilty ornament. I don't know which is the other quilty ornament. Oh, probably this, I think, is the other quilty ornament. Is that right, Lisa? I think so. So this was in exactly the same leaflet, and I believe that's called Quilty Ornaments, which basically means someone's quilting and someone has made a quilt. I think they go together. That's right. And let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I have gingerbread cupcakes, which, as you know, they're a little more difficult now to put together because we don't have act packs, but that doesn't mean that you can't do your own. What this is a good background of the cupcake. You put it on gingerbread colored fabric of some sort, which I think is still available. It would be interesting to find out. There was a lady who came as a newbie, and she wanted to ask about gingerbread fabric. And I think several people chimed in and said, well, you could use green. Yeah, but she wants the gingerbread colored fabric. So I'm not sure, Lisa, do you know if the gingerbread colored fabric is still being sold? I mean, am I wrong? I think it was called Antique Almond at one point. And then we actually requested that Zweigart make a color that was called gingerbread, if I'm not mistaken. And then in New Zealand, the lovely lady in New Zealand was making gingerbread, called it speculaas, which is a Dutch word for gingerbread. Have I got that all right? Anyway, if you've got any ideas about the gingerbread colored fabric, Lisa, let us know, or maybe let us know next week. Anyway, so this is a pattern that is really cute. Now, in this case, there's buttons on it that are snowmen, and then there's the red silicone cupcake holder, which, generally speaking, you bake gingerbread muffins in. That's the idea. So what you do is you buy these gingerbread muffin things, they're silicone, and you can actually stitch through them, which I didn't realize. You can take a very sharp needle and stitch. I did this with red. I don't know if you can see it or not. There, you can just barely see, even on the video, that there's some red thread here at the very top, all the way along. I basically used a needle and I poked it so that it would actually hold these in place. That worked like a charm. It took a while, but it was really fun to do. And then there's the one that has the gingerbread buttons on it, and a whole bunch of other beads and buttons, right? Let's see if you can see. Yeah, see, somebody asked about the beads also. These were the beads that someone asked about recently. This is the kind of bead it is, and this is the kind of bead. So this is the regular size, and this is the size that Lisa was mentioning. Excuse me. We bought these beads at a craft store, so they should be available even in Michael's, that size. And we used ones that were multicolored with stripes and whatever. So if you're looking to see what those beads are, and someone online definitely was looking at those, then you can tell that all you need to do is go down to the craft store and find many different sizes of beads in one big package. They're not special. They're just bright, and they have little stripes and things on them. Anyway, and this is one with holly leaves that I found. Also, they were also buttons. Let's see if I can get a good. See all those beads? They're just all different colors and stripes and non-stripes and whatever. Yeah. So, but the designs, the stitching part of it, are hardhanger designs without cutting them out. So that's how those muffins work. Let's see. Picture this plus was dyeing fabric that was called gingerbread bread. Okay, so it's picture this plus. And by the way, dyeing, dyeing the way you spelled it is like they're dying. Then Country Stitch in New Zealand was dyeing one called speculaas. Right, exactly. Well, picture this plus is probably something that you'd want to excuse me, I'm sorry, I've got a tickle this morning. I don't mean to, but it's the way it goes. Picture This Plus is a manufacturer dyer here in the United States, I should say. So you should be able to find gingerbread as well. Let's see. Warren Buffett. Thank you, Louise Vasa. My brain leaves me at times. That's who I was listening to. Thank you. Very good. See, a very good delayed response for me to hear this, because then at least I know I'm not crazy when I'm not remembering it. Thank you, thank you. Marty says, I've internet searched for these. It's quite difficult to get the red cupcake cups. Internet search usually only gives you pastel colors. Oh, I did not realize this. Thank you, Marty. I wonder if they have like white, which would be fine. Or, some neutral color like black or white or dark green. But if pastel colors, they're not very good, are they? Pink and yellow, and that's for another time. I'll look as well. It's good. If you find anything, let us know. Linda says, King Arthur flower. Gosh, I've never heard of that. Sells the red cupcake cups. King Arthur flower. Thanks for that hint. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a place that could at least provide you with the red cupcake cups. Yay! Thanks, Linda. Kathy also says King Arthur is supposed to have a good sourdough start. Okay. I don't know what that has to do with the cupcakes, but sourdough is good too. Okay, I also want to show you the gingerbread tree. I think that's what it's called. Let's see. Exactly what it's called is the scissor keep. Gingerbread scissor keep. Now this was a lovely little tree that I created a holder for a pair of scissors for. And we turned it into an ornament, my Christmas scissors. So the cute thing is that you can actually put an ornament in here because it's so tight, the actual scissors will stay. So put an old pair of scissors in here and hang this on your tree. It's really cute. It's the kind of ornament that everyone would appreciate, and you can put on the buttons that you like or the beads that you like and enjoy those, because there are lots of those available. Again, craft stores have so many different beads and buttons these days, or fabric stores. Hopefully you should be able to find a few that suit the gingerbread theme. And this was never a gingerbread oriented pattern, but the pattern is called Merry Christmas, but they are gingerbread colored ornaments, and this is called Merry Christmas. What it was originally was a how-to chart and how to finish ornaments. This one was kind of like a hard-hanger type ornament, and it shows you how to finish it. On the back you can see the flatness and how it's been finished beautifully with a blanket stitch around the outside, and the blanket stitch is also explained, I believe, in the same leaflet. Then there's this one, which is Lisa's usual way of finishing, which has padding front and back, and two pieces that fit like this together. They're glued together, and then there is a cording around the outside, and that forms the hanger as well. So this is a very typical. This takes a little bit longer than the usual finish, but boy, is it a beautiful finish. And then there's this one, which I believe was also padded, but it isn't finished the same way. It is stitched along the edge. Let's see if I can get you focused first. Let's see, I'll cover the lens so it focuses. No, it's not wanting to. Anyway, it's stitched along the edge because we put long stitches around the ornament itself. And then the backing also has these long stitches, or back stitches over 4. And then those 2 back stitches are stitched all the way around the outside. So all 3 are explained excruciatingly carefully in this leaflet. So it's a long leaflet with many step-by-step pictures, photos, etc. It's a beautiful pattern to learn how to finish all these 3 different types of ornaments. And because you can finish these 3 types, you can finish in various other ways as well. Using felt on the back is one of the easiest, fastest ways. So all of these ways of finishing ornaments are really good if you know the basics. And these 3 will give you the basics. And the leaflet is called Merry Christmas Ornaments. And finally, my favorite ones. These are adorable. They actually look so much better in person than they do on the picture. Look at these adorable little mice. I mean, when I hold them and I see their little tails here, I can show you one at a time. Their little tails look really like lifelike, so you can have them curled or whatever. And then their little felt ears, of course, big ears, little noses, and their little eyes are in the perfect spot. And then there's a little scene on the side, same scene, front and back. There's one little mouse. These are called gingerbread mice. And then there's poinsettias on the back of this one. They're so cute. And then there's this one with a cute little scene with pine cones and mainly pine cones and greenery, and also on the other side, as always. So both sides have the same but mirrored image of a design. They're just adorable, and you can do other designs on there if you want to have this pattern called Gingerbread Mice Ornaments. Then you have the main pattern and how to finish it, and you can make other mice. You can make them white with little pink things all over them if you want to match your tree, if you have a tree like that. It doesn't have to be gingerbread. And you can change colors, etc. It's really fun to do those mice. Exactly. Janet, you're here. Jennifer Henson, Karan, yay. Oh, that is really great that you're here. Thank you very much for saying hello. Very sweet. And Lisa says, the gingerbread scissor keep was so much fun to stitch and finish. That is actually one that, if you stitch and finish this one, you have done a great job, because the finish is, of course, a little bit more difficult, because you've got a front that is a little bit different size than the back. But boy, is it fun to finish, stitch and finish, as Lisa said. So those are my gingerbread ornaments. And I do have the gingerbread buildings on either side of me. You can see them there in the distance, but I will be showing them to you a little bit at a time before Christmas. So I know that it's time for the angel card. Let's see who else is, if anyone has said anything else. King Arthur Flour. I still have to figure that one out. I have a feeling that's a large kind of store that sells all sorts of foodstuffs, if I got that right. Anyway, it sounds like it anyway. Okay, I'm going to pick out an angel card for you all to contemplate this weekend. I can't look. I'm not allowed to look. So don't look, Taya. Okay. Listen to your dreams. And you have your own dreams. Oh, I'm so glad that it focused, because it's so much nicer when you can read it yourselves. So listen to your dreams actually brought up for me personally when I turned 40. It was 1989. Yeah. And I had been stitching for only a year. I'd cross-stitched about 8 pieces from other designers, and I just wanted to design my own thing. And I don't know where that impulse came from. I had found a little leaflet, a little booklet in a craft store way far away from here. But I went to that craft store one day, and the only thing I found in there that was of any interest to me, I didn't want to do any of the patterns, was how to create your own pattern. And it was pretty good. And of course, in those days, there was no computer, there was no computer program. So I had to go to a printing store, a place where they had a lot of different papers, and I found some chart paper that was 11 by 17, and then I had 11 by 17 paper copied, and I ordered 100 pieces of that, and it's a stack like this, graph paper. Got one of those rapidograph, that's what it's called, rapidograph pens that architects use. I think I talked to you about that last week. Anyway, I remember getting it all set up, and then I started, designing with using tracing paper on photographs so that I could get proportions correct. I mean, I used every trick, and it took me a year before I was comfortable with. I did do a little thing for a friend of mine, and I gave it to her for Christmas, but that was already almost a year before that was ready. Because I started on my birthday when I turned 40, and my kids were still in the house, but they were teenagers, and I didn't know what else to do. I had, had basically run the gamut of being a mother and being a realtor's wife, which meant a lot of entertaining. And so I decided that I was going to try and do this. I was so excited. And really, I didn't even have an idea about the Victoria sampler then. I didn't know any special. I just knew that I wanted to make cross-stitch designs. I wanted to draw and to use color on my linen. And that was a dream that has resulted in a second half of my life that was phenomenal, having been a designer. And I didn't learn any of this any other way except by reading books and figuring things out and trying and trying and trying. And then finally being okay with the results. And then gradually going into business. And when Richard came into my life, that ended up being an actual business, which before that it was a hobby business. So I'm so grateful to the world for having given me this lovely life that I've led through Victoria Sampler. Met you, all you people, Lisa, everyone has been affected in some way or another in my life. So gratitude about following my dream. And so I hope that you have dreams still, because I still have some dreams too. They may not be becoming anything, but they may be where I'm going to live, for instance, or, having a dream about how I want to live. So I wish you all the best with your dreams too. Yes, good cardigan. And Marty, I love that you love your gingerbread mice. You did do that 3 different colors. Love that idea. And Kathy Jones says, I have a cup that says, stop dreaming and start doing. Good point. Kathy, that is such a good point. And I never even mentioned that. Of course, I did start doing. You can't do anything with a dream, just a dream. So, good job. Thank you for saying that. I'm so glad that you interjected that, because it's so easy to get carried away with our dreams, isn't it? Marty says, good card. My dream is a 2-week Viking cruise through Europe. Okay, well, start doing. As Kathy says, all you need to do is, save up a little bit and make your, a fair bit, and then make your reservations and make sure that your kids are, left. If you've got kids at all, they have to be left behind. That's all. They can't come. Diane, oh, you missed us again. My schedule's all messed up. Well, I wish you all the best watching the replay. And don't forget, the replay is better on YouTube than it is on Facebook, because I find that the quality of the video is a little better on YouTube. But anyway, your decision as to where you watch it. I missed you too. So a half an hour earlier, that's all it takes. Not an hour, a half an hour. It's been a great dream and a great life. Absolutely, Lisa. Thank you so much for mentioning that. Yes. Without that dream, I wouldn't have met you. And that would have been a tragedy. Wishing you all the best. It's now a little after 10. I can't believe I kept talking as long as I have. I guess it must be that great sleep I had till 8:15 this morning. I don't know how I did it, but I did. Wishing you all the best and have a great weekend. And I'll see you next Friday at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. So come on time and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.